airbags are meant to serve as security for lives and property in our vehicles.
The motorcar airbags are safety devices or features designed to protect passengers and drivers in a head-on collision. The question begging for an answer, therefore, is how many car buyers take time to check the cars for airbags when they are purchasing one?
And like we car dealers now, if we are going to buy a car, we're buying the one that has a airbag because people are going through what is raining.
About an airbag in a car, it's supposed to be a supplementary restraint system. It's supposed to be something that helps to assist during the time of an accident, but it only works well once you have a seatbelt across your chest, or else otherwise it can be a dangerous thing in a car.
Airbags act as a cushion for passengers, thus preventing them from hitting the steering column and dashboard, which may lead to head, shoulder, or even chest injuries.
NTA International.
United States Agency for International Development support agricultural initiative of Nigeria based on the National Policy on Agriculture. Ministry of Science and Technology collaborates on knowledge, skills acquisition and capacity building with Irish and Canadian government for youth development. Nigeria and other African countries get recognition for role played in First and Second World Wars. You're welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Ifeanyi Okafor. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has assured the business community in Doha, Qatar, that Nigeria will remove any impediment that can hinder investment in the country. The president spoke at a meeting with senior executives of Qatar Chamber of Commerce and some private businessmen, where he explained that government places high premium on securing the country because security is essential to prosperity and development. He noted that his cardinal focus remains in ensuring security of lives and property, employment generation, and anti-corruption, assuring that he would live up to his promise of running an accountable government. The president also told the Qatari business community that Nigeria is blessed with vast arable land for agriculture and rich deposit of solid minerals, which the businessmen can invest in and reap rich returns in a short while. President Buhari further explained that government is working hard to tackle infrastructure deficits in power, transportation, rail, road, and is committed to removing such impediments like delayed processing of permits, multiple taxation, and corrupt practices. Speaking on behalf of the Qatari businessman, Mohammed bin Ahmed bin Tawa Al-Kuwari, Vice Chairman of Qatar Chamber of Commerce and Industry, said they will be interested in the finance, oil and gas, telecommunications, tourism, agriculture, and food processing sectors. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says the Qatari businessmen believe that Africa is the next place for growth and Nigeria is an important part of the continent. And turning to agriculture, the United States Agency for International Development has pledged to support the agricultural initiative of the Nigerian government aimed at boosting the incoming generation of the country. This is based on the new national policy on agriculture recently released by the government. Musa Babaliu reports that this was at a retreat for directors in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture.
The focus of the new policy is to unlock all the challenges and further boost agricultural contribution to the economy. It covers crop production for local consumption and for export, marketing, storage, livestock production, value addition, as well as job creation.
There is therefore the need for government and other stakeholders to work closely to gather, synergize, and network to enable us realign ourselves for a progressive life beyond oil.
Development partners, including the United States Agency for International Development and Food and Agriculture Organization, expressed satisfaction on the steps taken by the All Progressive Congress Party-led administration to boost agriculture for the socioeconomic development of Nigeria.
The United States government strongly believes that the new leadership in Nigeria offers hope and offers an opportunity to begin to rebuild the institutions of the Nigerian state.
Africa Lead will support the ministry's efforts to build the capacities of the desk officers to enable them effectively and efficiently track progress of the implementation of the SDGs.
Aimed at equipping the directors of agriculture under the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, this retreat also focuses on monitoring and evaluation under the new agricultural policy. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
To the power sector now, following the visit by the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, to Nasarawa State, the National Integrated Power Project says it plans to construct high-capacity infrastructure for efficient supply in tandem with the aspiration of the people of the state. Hamza Musa Makarfi reports.
When the minister visited as part of nationwide tour, Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura voiced the situation of power sector infrastructure in the state as he received assurances on the way forward.
Nasarawa State is the only state capital among the 36 states that is left to fend with 33 kV line.
In finding solution, the National Integrated Power Project says it plans to step down the 330 kV high-capacity transmission line from Makadi to Jos, in Lafia, the state capital. The planned substation will have 2x150 NBA and 2x60 NBA transformers.
Very soon we'll be packaging something by way of addressing the issues of the bulk power to Nasarawa State. And by the way, it's not just Nasarawa State. We are hoping to receive approvals very soon about additional power infrastructure that we need to do, which is having to do with Kano, Kaduna.
The managing director says issues raised by the governors of Rivers, Cross River and Akwa Ibom states on NIPP projects which suffer as a result of contractor weakness and wayleave will be addressed.
So we hope that in the next 2 weeks we will repackage this project and deliver. Because in NDPSC, we will never see any abandoned projects.
In Abuja, Hamza Musa Makarfi, NTA News.
Now, in line with efforts to build partnerships, the Ministry of Science and Technology will collaborate with the Irish government and Canada-based Council for Entrepreneurship for Africa for the development of sustainable indigenous technology. The Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonneonu, says Nigeria needs such collaboration for knowledge, skills acquisition, and capacity building for Nigerian youths. Science correspondent Kirian Umayo reports.
Highly skilled professionals are required in all facets of science, technology, and innovation if Nigeria hopes to develop and sustain indigenous technology. Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonneonu, told the President, Council for Entrepreneurship for Africa, COEFA, and Irish Ambassador to Nigeria, Sean Hoy, that Nigeria is in a hurry to close the technology gap that exists with a view to increasing the nation's capacity to grow technologically.
We're looking at our indigenous technology and we're adding value to that. We're upgrading indigenous technology in Nigeria. And we believe that with new technologies or upgraded indigenous technology, we'll be in a position to improve on the productivity of our people. It's not only that we will reduce poverty, but also we are going to reduce the temptation to migrate from rural to urban centers. Because if you're in a rural area and through improvement in the technology you are using, your productivity is steady now, but in other areas through further interaction.
We are looking at impacting on waste to wealth through appropriate technologies. So these technologies, yes, they are out there. Yes, they are expensive, but it doesn't mean that it is not possible that we can acquire them.
The cooperation which has been established is expected to fast-track the nation's efforts towards technology acquisition. In Abuja, Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
In the meantime, the federal government says it will support the Lady Mechanic initiative to build a first car in Nigeria that will be designed and constructed by lady mechanics in Nigeria. Minister of Science and Technology Ogbonneonu gave the assurance at a meeting with the first lady mechanic in Nigeria, Sandra Agwebo. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday has details.
These are women who have distinguished themselves by crossing their lines to where people say it's a man's world. Auto mechanic. The ladies dressed in blue overall and red cap in their garage, satisfying their customers. With over 800 membership, founder Lady Mechanic Initiative, Sandra Agwebo, in an audience with the Minister of Science and Technology, Ogbunaya Onu, says they want to build a one-stop shop auto mechanic village.
Where you drive one car to, you find a woman selling battery, you find a woman doing quick service. All this brings about the new administration, the new government, that's what they have preached. The change is here.
Sandra says she got the revelation when she was 13 years old and have used the initiative to bring back home wayward ladies in the society.
Lady Mechanic have been doing this for a very long time. You can find our girls having their own workshop, training other women. What I started like a dream, spreading out like a white fire.
The Lady Mechanic wants to do what their male counterparts are yet to achieve.
The dream we have brought about producing a prototype vehicle, first of its kind in the whole world. Women Association, mechanic producing that in Nigeria. He said he will support us.
But how will you feel when a lady mechanic presents herself to give solution to the challenges facing your vehicle?
Nations all over the world are excited that this is something new and it's happening in Nigeria. So if a woman comes to repair my vehicle, I will feel happy. I feel proud of her. Now she wants to assemble a vehicle. You see the progression. And this ministry is very interested because she's doing what we want to be done in the country, and that is technology transfer. And that is why we will support her.
With this initiative, it is obvious that Nigerian women are strong and brilliant. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
Moving to development of infrastructure, state governors have been implored to see telecommunication cables in their domain as critical infrastructure that should be absolutely protected rather than abandoned for destruction. Abdurrahman Adebayo Shitu, who was one of the guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria program, said this while discussing the topic Telecommunication Roadmap for Nigeria. Oyeyemi Ajayi has details.
Decades ago, telephone is said not to be for the poor. Indeed, telecommunication remained the preserve of the rich. But those days are gone. Over the years, millions of Nigerians now have access to telecommunications gadgets. Now, over 90 million subscriptions have been recorded in the sector. For example, the Nigerian telecommunications is referred to as one of the largest markets, not just in West Africa, but the world at large. The Minister of Communications says Nigeria has recorded positive results in ICT knowledge base, while regretting that a lot of ICT deficits still exist in the sector.
We are trying to advance this project to ensure that we encourage both the government itself and private sector participators to try to invest heavily to ensure that broadband covers the entire Nigeria.
Condemning the multiple biometrics collection by different agencies, other guests on the program talked about the place of cybersecurity in the roadmap for Nigerian telecommunications.
I would really encourage that our policymakers look into this thing and demonstrate a good understanding of the importance of ICT to the development of their citizens, and therefore look at making money at the back end, not necessarily at the front end.
I would urge the minister, yes, you need to work with the governors forum, but please, sir, with all due respect, try and engage individual governors and work with them to get them as one politician to another to see that you can have a bigger pie if you allow the payback to be a little later.
The minister affirmed the efforts of the ministry in repositioning NIPOS to a better organization that will include banking, among others. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
And to security matters, Northern governors' wives have met in Abuja to fashion out ways of assisting in the fight against insurgency and helping victims of communal clashes. Gufan Shaji reports that the governors' wives met under the aegis of the Northern Governors' Wives Forum.
The meeting, which had 13 wives of northern governors and one representative in attendance, focused on tackling security challenges in northern Nigeria. Deliberations centered on how best awareness can be created to better enlighten the people to avoid traps set by insurgents.
The forum unanimously resolved as follows. 1. To tackle security challenges in the northern region through the following: awareness creation using media jingle in English, Hausa, and local dialects, and agreed that the jingle be produced and to commence airing before our next meeting. B. Advocacy using community leaders and market women.
We have a lot of challenges, and it's time that people take up the challenge themselves. Take care not to leave the door open.
Issue of suspected attacks by headsmen in some northern central states, especially in Benue. Benue State Governor's wife Eunice Tom says her office is teaming up with other northern governors' wives to bring succor to the people of the state.
To fight security has a major problem in the northern states, and we are planning to see how we can impact on that.
From Asma Uyari of Zamfara State reiterated that as wives of governors, it is their statutory duty to support their husbands as well as fulfill the mandate to the people who voted them into power. In Abuja, Ufan Shaji, NTA News.
Still talking security, the Nigerian Navy says adequate maritime security have been put in place to curtail the rising cases of sea piracy and other unwholesome criminalities in the Niger Delta coastal area. The commander, NNS Jubilee Commodore David Adeniro, stated this at the launch of joint military operation in Akwa Ibom State. Marian Vincent Oko has details.
Akwa Ibom is one of the coastal states in the South-South region, which had over the years witnessed increased sea piracy and illegal oil bunkering. Although efforts by governments at the state and federal levels had brought such activities in check, recent events have shown a re-emergence of coastal criminality, which warranted the directive by the Chief of Naval Staff on the conduct of military operation to check the ugly trend. The joint operation by the officers of the NNS Jubilee Kodabasi and the Nigerian Army 6th Battalion Ibawa in Akwa Ibom State led to the destruction of criminal locations in Ikodabasi, Eastern Obolo and Ibno local government areas. Commander NNS Jubilee Commodore David Adeniro says the military action, codenamed Operation Clean Sweep, is in response to security lapses in the coastal areas as witnessed in Eastern Obolo, where a police station was attacked, resulting in death of 2 policemen and loss of arms and ammunition.
Operation Clean Sweep has been very successful. Legitimate seafarers have continued their activities, while normal social activities have been restored in the general area.
Some leaders in the areas visited described the joint operation as a positive step that will dislodge armed criminal groups from the communities.
The arrival of the military, I think we get peace. The presence of the military should take all those problems and they should stop all those things here.
In Uyo, Marian Vincent Oko, NTA News.
You're watching NTA International News, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria. Stay on for more news after the break.
If you hear a bomb explosion or gunshots of an active shooter, that might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words: run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help will come. For anonymous reporting, call 09630-3250-5 or 0813-2222-106. If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the U-Report link. And be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
Good to know you're still there. Our business news and Muplang Dakok is our guide.
On the global market, shares fell in Europe and Asia on Monday after a weekend meeting of G20 finance chiefs ended with no new plans to encourage global growth. Also, United States stock index fell this Monday as investors worried about the Federal Reserve pressing ahead with its plan to raise interest next year. And Brent crude prices increased this Monday after Saudi Arabia last week said it will work with other oil producers to curb oversupply of oil in the market. In the country, the Central Bank of Nigeria has published a list of banks that utilized their forex allocation for last week, with Zenith Bank taking the lead for the highest amount of forex purchased for customers. First Bank of Nigeria came second after being displaced by Zenith Bank, while Stanbic IBTC came third and Diamond Bank came fourth. The Central Bank began publishing the list 3 weeks ago to improve transparency in the allocation of forex to banks. Muplang Dakok, NTA News.
On the foreign scene, Zimbabwean authorities have reported cases of diarrhea in the country as India plans to pump almost $13 billion into rural development. Details with Justin Bem Onyi.
Zimbabwe's Ministry of Health and Child Care has revealed that about 50,000 cases of diarrhea have been reported in the country in 2016 alone, with 30 deaths resulting from the deadly epidemic. Reports say the Health Ministry disclosed that 48,843 cases of diarrhea was recorded since the beginning of 2016, with 10,604 of these having been reported last week along with 8 deaths. And away from Africa, India has pledged billions of